They look at me now with wide eyes and say, "Man, people can't believe this shit. How did you know first?" And I laugh, not because it's funny, but because they have no idea what it costs to be the first to see something. They only see the after, the glow-up, the praise, the spotlight. But they never ask what came before. They never ask about the weight I had to carry in silence, the war I had to fight in the dark, the voices I had to ignore just to keep going. Let me take you back. Not to the success, not to the celebration, but to the silence. The cold, brutal silence when no one believes in you. The part no one talks about. The part that hurts like hell. The part where your hands are bleeding, your confidence is cracking, and your hope is hanging by a thread. But you keep pushing anyway. I knew first, because I had to. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have a lifeline. All I had was this fire in my gut, this deep knowing that the world wasn't going to hand me anything unless I snatched it. See, when your back is against the wall and life keeps kicking you down, you hit a fork in the road. Either you accept your place at the bottom, or you start seeing the world through a different lens. And I refused to settle. I refused to believe that the version of me that was struggling, broke, and overlooked was all I'd ever be. So I rewired my brain. I flipped my perspective. I started reading between the lines of life itself, watching, learning, listening to what others ignored. That's how I knew, not from luck, not from a mentor, not from some magical moment, but from pressure, from desperation, from the kind of pain that forces you to see what others won't. That's what they don't get. Being first isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's dirty. It's quiet. But if you can survive that, you earn the right to laugh when they finally ask, "How did you know?" While others were relaxing, watching the game, mindlessly scrolling through their feeds, laughing at memes and chasing weekend distractions, I was locked in. I was studying people, not casually, not passively. I was observing, like my future depended on it. Because it did. Every twitch, every hesitation, every word people didn't say, I was paying attention to all of it. I wasn't just looking, I was decoding. I was breaking down behavior patterns like a puzzle that no one else even realized existed. While the world was entertained, I was getting educated. They called me obsessed. They said I was overthinking. They laughed, called me paranoid, told me to just chill, to live a little. But they didn't see what I saw. They didn't feel what I felt. This undeniable pressure in my chest that screamed, "Something's coming. Pay attention." They thought I was chasing some fantasy, some imaginary breakthrough. But I wasn't chasing a dream. I was recognizing a pattern, a real one. One that was forming just below the surface, like a tectonic plate about to shift. It hadn't hit the news yet. It wasn't trending. But I could feel it. It was like a pulse under the skin. Faint, easy to miss, but undeniably there. And once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. It becomes an obsession. You start seeing signs in everything, conversations, headlines, decisions people make. And you start connecting dots that no one else even notices exist. That's the difference between people who react to the world and people who predict it. The ones who wait until it's obvious always arrive late. The ones who catch the pattern before it explodes. They're the ones who redefine the game. So, while they were busy living in the moment, I was building a future. I was drawing blueprints from fragments of instinct, lining up dominoes that hadn't even been placed yet. Because once you train yourself to see through the fog, you stop waiting for permission. You stop asking, what if? And you start knowing, with a confidence that makes people uncomfortable. That's why when the world shifted, I wasn't surprised. I was ready. People think knowing first is about being smart, like it's some kind of genetic gift or a lucky guess. It's not. It's about being obsessed. So obsessed that it becomes the air you breathe. So locked in that you don't just want to know, you need to know. Because knowing first isn't about ego. It's about survival. It's about being willing to look when everyone else turns away. Being the only one standing in the dark, trying to find patterns where no one else is even paying attention. And that's exactly what I did. While they slept peacefully, I stayed up with a burning mind. While they skimmed headlines, I devoured information like my future depended on it, because it did. I didn't scroll for dopamine. I studied for war. I went deeper, into books, into people, into silence, into failure, into pain. And I found clarity in places most people avoid. You think I sacrificed sleep just for ambition? No. I sacrificed comfort to build a version of me so sharp, so precise, that when the world blinked, I saw everything. Because I didn't want to just succeed. I didn't want a piece of the pie. I wanted to dominate. Not because I needed a crown, but because I knew what it felt like to be invisible. I knew what it felt like to walk into rooms and be dismissed before I even spoke. And I swore I'd never feel that powerlessness again. I was done being average, done living like I had to wait my turn, done shrinking myself just to fit in with people who never saw me anyway. I wanted to be the name that echoed, the one they whispered in boardrooms, in locker rooms, in group chats, the one they pointed at and said, "How the hell did he know before the rest of us?" And when they finally ask, they think it's magic. But it's not magic. It's madness. It's hours and hours of lonely work. It's losing friends. It's missing moments. It's locking into a vision so vividly that reality eventually catches up to you. That's how I knew first, because I made knowing my only option. You know what's funny? The day you start seeing what others can't, the world doesn't celebrate you. No one claps. No one throws you a party. The world doesn't say, "Wow, this one's different." Nah, it laughs at you. People roll their eyes. They mock your intensity. They say, "Who do you think you are?" And they don't say it with curiosity. They say it with contempt. Because your clarity threatens their comfort. Your obsession makes their apathy uncomfortable. They'll try to drag you back down. Not always with fists, sometimes with jokes, sometimes with silence. They'll invite you out when they know you've got work to do. They'll distract you with drama, with noise, with nonsense, because your discipline is a mirror to their mediocrity, and most people hate what they see in that reflection. But I didn't flinch. I didn't explain myself. I didn't water myself down so they could feel tall. I let the mockery fuel me. Every laugh, every doubt. It became gasoline. I let the loneliness sculpt me. Every night I sat alone, grinding, thinking, building. I wasn't breaking. I was being forged. Because deep down I wasn't trying to impress them. I wasn't chasing their approval. I was building a reality so solid, so undeniable, they'd have no choice but to respect it, even if they never said it out loud. And here's the crazy part. The moment you stop needing validation, the moment you stop waiting for someone to clap for you, that's when the universe starts whispering secrets to you. It starts showing you moves, patterns, opportunities that were always there. But now, you're finally tuned in. Because when you detach from their noise, you tune into your truth. And that's when everything shifts. That's the moment you stop being a spectator, someone who watches others live, and you become a creator, someone who builds the life others dream of. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for proof. You become the proof. So laugh all you want. Mock all you want. I'll keep building until the day you look up and realize the thing you were laughing at is the life you wish you had. So when people now stare in disbelief, when they look me in the eye and say, "How did you know first?" I want to tell them the truth. I want to say, "Because I earned it." But they wouldn't believe it. They only see the result, the shine, the spotlight, the surface. They don't see what it cost. They didn't see me when I was grinding 16 hours a day, not for profit, but for purpose, with no guarantee, no map, no applause, just this fire in my gut that told me, keep going, even when everything around me screamed, quit. They didn't see me turn down comfort. They didn't see me delete the apps, cancel the hangouts, silence the distractions. They didn't see me stare at opportunities that looked easy and walk away because I knew easy was never going to build something undeniable. They didn't hear the voices in my head, the ones that said, "This won't work. You're crazy. Play it safe." They didn't feel the fear climbing my spine every time I took a step forward with no safety net below. They weren't there when I put everything I had on the line, again and again, knowing one wrong move could collapse the entire structure. And now they want the secret. Here it is. I didn't wait for a perfect moment. I didn't wait for signs from the sky. I trained myself to see before others could, to notice the cracks before the collapse, to feel the shift before the quake. I lived on the edge, where things bend, where things break, where the world isn't safe or stable or predictable, but real. Most people avoid the edge. They want comfort. They want balance. But I chose the edge, because the edge is where everything begins. It's where revolutions are born, where patterns are broken, where the future starts whispering, "Watch this." So when you ask me how I knew first, understand, it wasn't luck. It wasn't a guess. It was pain. It was patience. It was obsession. It was me walking straight into the chaos while everyone else was running away. And that's why I saw it first.